let's start the show off with a Monty Show exclusive. We tell you all the time that the phone rings and you never know who's on the other end. And yesterday, a very well-placed source at UNLV called me and really was pretty adamant that we were fully incorrect about the situation at UNLV. And the narrative that UNLV is broke and that UNLV can't afford to pay coaches and that UNLV is somehow unable to financially compete in sports. And it's not often you talk to somebody that is well-placed at a university and is very close to the situation, understands things going on. Phone rang yesterday, late in the afternoon, talking to this person who's close at UNLV who said straight up, you need to stop saying we're broke because we are not broke. And it's a very interesting situation at UNLV. You know that their athletic director told the Board of Regents that they did not have cash on hand to pay their football coach, Dan Mullen in this case, the balance of his contract. They didn't fire him. The point was, hey, we have 2 years. After that, we don't have the cash on hand, or at least that's what was spun. I was told yesterday by a source very close to UNLV that this conversation centers around the UNLV system providing enough financial support to athletics to compete at a high level. That's what the conversation about Dan Mullen's contract was centered around. I am told, and take it with a grain of salt, because when you get lit up on a phone conversation, and it was a pretty passionate conversation, it's hard for me to just say, okay, well, this person at UNLV who I've known now for a pretty good amount of time is just being dishonest, because this person's never been dishonest with me in the past. And they were absolutely passionate. In no way, shape, or form is UNLV broke. In no way, shape, or form is their athletic department the word that was used, insolvent. It's simply what was described to me as a tug of war between athletics and administration about the current ecosystem in college sports, where you have an athletic department fighting to get more money from the administration, and the administration saying, we're not sure we want to do that. Either way you slice it, money's an issue at UNLV. And Jake, I think it's hard to spin it that financially UNLV is counting their pennies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's no question that, at a minimum, no matter who you ask, this source, people in the industry, UNLV and every other institution is going to count every single penny and is going to have a super detailed accounting of where they're at money wise. And like I said yesterday, it's one of these deals where whether you are or you aren't, the conversation is ongoing. Whether you are broke or you're not broke. And again, I don't agree that we ever said UNLV was just broke and insolvent and can't afford to do anything. That's not. I have never explicitly said that.
No.
What I said yesterday was the perception is that UNLV may have a money problem. That's what we talked about yesterday. And you can go back. It's all on YouTube. I encourage you to go listen to it. But I do think that this conversation around how do you compete at a really high level in collegiate athletics, especially when you're in a G5 situation, I think is a really pertinent one. I mean, if you're UNLV, let's understand how the conversation has evolved over the last 6 months. I mean, there was a time, not what are we at the end of March here? In December, I think it was, where people were like, "Hey, UNLV is going to go to the Pac-2. They're going to get this money grab, and they're going to try and figure it out." And then that conversation evolved, and people started to understand, well, hey, maybe the Pac-12, Pac-2 situation isn't actually a money grab. Maybe there's actually more risk in that situation for UNLV than there would be in their current situation. And so that conversation kind of slowed down and lost some steam. And now this whole Dan Mullen, money situation popped up. And I think it just caught fire because of everything going on between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and UNLV finds itself right in the middle of that. So yeah, I do think that UNLV counts every single penny, as they should. I'm not criticizing them for that. But what I am saying is that at some point, You have to have your ducks in a row on your messaging, because it's not an accident that you're talking about money and we're getting all this reporting about your AAD saying that you didn't have enough money, but now we're correcting that. So
Right.
again, I'm not saying that UNLV is broke. That's never been my point. That's never been the accusation. The reality of the situation, though, is that when your AD comes out and says, hey, or allegedly says to the board, hey, we don't have enough money to pay Dan Mullen's contract for the whole 5-year term, and then that gets reported and everyone's talking about it. Well, the reality is, the perception is, hey, maybe UNLV has a money problem. So I'm not surprised that we got a call and UNLV is trying to set this record straight, because there is a difference between being, air quotes, broke, which again, we never said, but there is a difference between being that and wanting to compete at the highest level. And I think that whether it's Memphis, UNLV, Boise State, all of these schools that are at the G5 level share that plight in life, where they need to find a way to compete at the highest level possible so they can make the most money possible.
Well, and it's very interesting. If you read Eric Harper's bio on the UNLV website, which I was pointed to by this source, there is an interesting paragraph there that I think you should ingest, because I agree. We've never said UNLV is broke. And I think UNLV has a messaging problem. They're not in control of their narrative. And one of the things that I think is very interesting is that in this paragraph, and I know this is really small and I apologize, I'll read it to you. In his first 2.5 years on the job, Harper has effected significant change under his leadership. A new strategic plan was announced in September of 2022 that is aimed at helping deliver a premier student-athlete experience in college athletics and providing Rebels the opportunity to succeed as students, athletes, and into the future as well-rounded community leaders. In alignment with the broader UNLV Top Tier 2.0 strategic plan, the athletic department worked in tandem with the university to develop a clear strategy for achieving athletic and academic excellence. And my source at UNLV says that the administration has let the athletic department down, that putting Eric Harper, who seems to be well respected in Las Vegas,
right,
putting Eric Harper in this position has damaged UNLV athletics. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is that when you go and you look at where UNLV is, it would not appear, and this is my opinion, it would not appear in any way, shape, or form. The administration at UNLV is doing everything possible to make sure that athletes in the athletic departments that they compete in are thriving. And I think that is the biggest issue. And when you look at what this Top Tier 2.0 program, if you will, or initiative at UNLV is made of, and I think this is a really interesting point. And I did not until 2 weeks ago even know about this top tier program. But look at what the core tenets of this top tier program are: student achievement, research, scholarship, and creative activity, academic health, socioeconomic development, community partnerships, social justice, equity, and inclusion. Right? So this is, from the university's perspective, okay, this is what we are focused on. And student achievement is supposed to include UNLV athletics.
Right.
And I would say right now, it does not include UNLV athletics. And I think it is very interesting to me that there seems to be a divide between the administration and the athletic department at UNLV, which is exactly why we're in this position.
Mm-hmm.
So as you hit the like button here on the Monty Show, I think this is the single biggest conversation that we're having now, is that I think when you have the kind of money that we are talking about, This is not unique to UNLV. This goes back to our time covering the meltdown of the Pac-12 when we had, athletic departments in the PNW calling us and screaming at us, and J.D. Wicker hanging up on us and all this stuff. Because when administrators and athletic administrators are not in lockstep, bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the AD wind up in front of the Board of Regents saying, we can't afford to pay our coach, which actually was, hey, we need more money from you so our athletic department can operate at the level that's required by our very own program. And I would agree. I don't think UNLV is broke.
No.
But under any circumstance, I think they absolutely have an issue with the way that they are communicating and working together from an athletic department to an administration department. Yeah,
and you see that bore out in the media, and I'm sure it's frustrating, right? I mean, obviously, we're not the only ones talking about this, and I think that it's a thing where there's been a run here where it just hasn't been great for. Excuse me.
Ooh,
sorry.
Be well.
It hasn't been great for UNLV, right? We had the Sluka situation in NIL, and a lot of people speculated about that. And then on the heels of that, now we have a conversation about whether athletics and administration is on the same page. And I think that's the trouble is that it looks like UNLV right now, it has two sort of camps trying to work together. The camp in the athletic department that's saying, hey, if you want us to compete at a really high level, we're going to need more funding. We need more gas in the tank to be able to go and do these things. And it appears that administration is not on the same page. And so, it does beg the question, if it truly was initially was a conversation about, hey, we just need more money to compete at a higher level, why, Eric Harper would go and say that about Dan Mullen's contract and all of that. That's what a lot of people have a question about. My whole point in this thing is either way, the overreaching conversation is more that UNLV finds itself in the middle of a conversation at a conference level where you've got these two conferences that are battling, and inside of that, UNLV has to find a way to be successful at the school level, and you don't just randomly turn into a successful athletic department. I think Dan Mullen was a great hire. I think he can do great things in the football program, but whether you're in the SEC or the Mountain West or the ACC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, right, or the American, you got to have enough money to go out and get talent. And so I do think that UNLV needs to work hard to correct its image on the NIL side in football, number one. And then number two, they need to do some winning, right? Correct your NIL, go out and compete again for the conference, because you can't tell me Boise State's just going to, rinse and repeat again after losing Ginty and the turnover they've had. So the conference there's going to be opportunity there.
Well, listen, Dan Mullen and his awkward hugging wife have got to be a success at UNLV.
Yeah.
You should go look at Dan Mullen's wife hugging Florida players.
Dan Mullen, wife, Florida.
Yeah, but again, I point to this because you're talking about this top tier 2.0 thing at UNLV. And after digging into it last night, I just don't see that it's a success. Because if this really is student achievement, research, scholarship, creativity, my belief is after reading their hey, it's a 10-page PowerPoint presentation. This is all about driving enrollment, fostering an environment where your students can achieve, and bringing the community of Las Vegas, Nevada, and Clark County to UNLV. And what's the best way to do that? Why is this in the biography of UNLV's athletic director? Because athletics plays a really foundational part of that. And if you're not going to fund athletics to the point where they can do that, what is the point of having athletics?
Yeah.
So the Sluka thing, I asked this particular person about the Sluka thing. There were a lot of, it was explained to me that the Sluka situation at UNLV had a lot of chefs trying to make the stew, and that there was not a high level of communication. and expectations were not properly set, I don't expect UNLV to tell anybody that it was their fault, and I don't know that it was. In fact, I actually have never thought it was fully on them. But it's, again, perception versus reality. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It is your fault. But one thing that I also want to touch on that was unequivocal, UNLV, according to and now multiple sources have told us this, UNLV remains committed to the Mountain West. They do not, at this time, I was told point blank last night, we have no intention of going to the Pac-12. That's not currently on our radar unless something significantly changes, which, what did Dr. Ed Scott from Memphis tell us? Pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Unless something significant changes. I was told that UNLV has not talked to the Pac-12 in a number of months, that there have not been conversations. So UNLV, multiple sources at UNLV are telling me they remain committed to the Mountain West and that they remain committed to building an atmosphere where their athletes have everything they need to thrive. And I think Will Wade is in play at UNLV. I truly do. My source last night didn't want to talk about it, if we're being honest. Like, just straight, like it was one of the more intriguing conversations I've ever had about the fire and brimstone of we are not broke and people need to stop saying that. And we need to do a better job of communicating that.
Right.
And I think you're going to see messaging and the way that messaging happens at UNLV change significantly. Because I think UNLV cannot afford to continue to let it be thought that they are broke and that they don't pay kids their NIL money. Because that's what the perception is right now.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's reality at UNLV.
Nope.
I think UNLV, listen, this year, I was straight up told, can UNLV afford to pay for lawsuits? Maybe, but they're not going to. They're not in a place where their first priority is to pay lawyers to sue the Mountain West.
Yeah.
To get out of grant of rights, to get out of commitments that they've made to the Mountain West. When the Mountain West has made significant commitments to Las Vegas and UNLV. So, unless something astronomical happens, and the money goes up significantly, it does not seem to be a good idea for UNLV to leave the Mountain West and the money it would cost them. I think you need to stop talking about the Pac-12 in Las Vegas, and you need to start focusing on doing a much better job of keeping your house in order.
Yes. That's the thing that stands out. I mean, you got to get
absolutely,
university president, athletic director, head coaches, all, that we see at the really successful schools, right? The schools that are always in the conversation, always driving athletic revenue, like Ohio State as an example, whoever you want to point to. You don't really hear about ADs stepping on a line and saying this or that. Like, you don't really hear about that. And I think that's where, again, at the G5 level, we know this to be true about human beings. Humans are going to disagree, right? Administrators are going to disagree about philosophy and how they, should be going about things. And
everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their opinion's the best opinion.
Yeah. And so it's no surprise that we run into this issue in college athletics. But again, I would agree that it's not factually accurate to say that UNLV is broke, but I do think it's accurate to say that.
How would you describe UNLV in from what you're privy to all these conversations.
Yeah.
From what how would you describe UNLV financially?
Yeah. I mean, from what I know, I would describe UNLV financially as solid. I think that UNLV and specifically Eric Harper have aspirations of competing at a much higher level. Whether you want to look at football or basketball, I think there's no question that, from the information we have, it's very clear that they have aspirations at just as an example, being, a tournament team every year that is capable of making, a deeper run and getting those tournament shares that we've talked so much about. So I think on the basketball side, that would be one. And then on the football side, I think you don't hire Dan Mullen to lose. You hire Dan Mullen to go out and build your program and to try to be what Boise State was last year, to try to get into that, that single slot in the college football playoff. But again, this brings us right back to, okay, in order to do that, though, again, it seems like Eric Harper and Dan Mullen and, whoever the basketball coach is going to be are all on the same page. Now you got to get, the administration on the same page. So I think they're fine financially. I think they're solid, but there's a difference between being solid and paying the bills and thriving and going out and taking a run at making an Elite Eight or getting into the college football playoff or whatever. Like, that's two different scenarios.
I think Eric Harper has done a very good job.
Yeah.
A good job. Very good job might be strong. UNLV football is competitive. UNLV football is no longer playing
in those games with Boise State.
Yes. Yeah. But they're no longer playing in they're no longer playing in a Dust Bowl that nobody wants to go and see.
Yeah.
UNLV is playing at Allegiant Stadium. I had kind of an interesting conversation about that. I think we talked about it on the show several weeks ago. UNLV and Allegiant isn't a financial boom for UNLV, but it's a very necessary venue for them. I think that UNLV and Eric Harper's singular job is to hire Will Wade and flip that basketball department around.
Yeah.
You now have got to compete at the top of that conference every year. UNLV, and I don't know, maybe I'm making too much out of it. UNLV, to me, is one of those teams that should be in the tournament every single year.
Oh, and I think it goes without saying, if you were to hire Will Wade, obviously, when you talk about Eric Harper doing a good job, Eric Harper's got to keep Will Wade within the limits of recruiting and NIL.
All right, let's get your comments here on the Monty Show. Is UNLV on your radar? Is UNLV significant? Do you believe UNLV is broke? I am telling you, I've never said that. I don't believe UNLV is broke. I think their money, every penny has to go further. Every dollar has to mean more. And, one other thing in this conversation last night, UNLV does not get casino money, at least not at a high level. UNLV does not. It's very interesting that everybody in Las Vegas wants to tell you, well, we're getting the casino money. They're not getting the casino money.
No. UNLV
is not. Thomas and Mack Center is very interesting because it makes UNLV money. That building, that complex makes UNLV money. Because don't forget, the NBA also is in Las Vegas every summer. So, but UNLV is not getting significant resources from the casinos. And I think that is a very important line to make. Eric Wasikowski, the dude can't fit his whole name, but somehow I can.
What are we talking about?
I think this is a Core D reference.
Oh.
But yeah, it could be. See, Core D, you show up here with a name like Core D and all hell breaks loose. Wasikowski, Army's name would be Alphabet. Okay. I like it. Hi, Monty. Who won the Cubs-Dodger game?
Well, Chewy, it was nice knowing you. Really nice knowing you, dude.
Listen, if the Cubs are going to continue to put guys on base in front of show me the money and the spread, please.
E-base buddy.
Hey, the great gambler.
Right.
If they're going to continue to put guys on in front of him. Now, Shohei's got a solo bomb tonight in Tokyo. He's got a solo home run. Cubs are trailing 6-3 in the ninth. It's
cashless.
Fine. It's fine. Sergeant Moorhew. Gonna miss the morning show. You guys help my shift fly by. I'll be reduced to your reruns. Won't stop me from getting my minty fix.
Yes.
Exactly. Minty fresh.
Right.
Illumindersky. Hello, my friend. I missed a few shows. Is there a Monty Show tourney challenge going? There's not. And everybody's asked me to do one.
Bracketology, Monty.
Yeah, take it. See ya.
Should we do one? I don't want to do one. I'll be honest. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Am I just
play prize picks? Don't do a bracket challenge.
That's what I always say. Let's do a prize picks challenge.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do a prize picks challenge. You deposit $5 in a new prize picks account. They'll give you 50 more. I was just talking to the guys at Prize Picks yesterday. We have one of the most robust promo codes on the West Coast. We really appreciate that, you guys. Use the promo code Monty. Download the Prize Picks app. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do daily prize picks contests in the NCAA tournament. To which I told you yesterday, RJ Davis and North Carolina.
Whoa, would never do I told you.
I told you so Wednesday. The
Yeah.
singular best team in the country, North Carolina basketball.
Right. An obvious tournament team.
Second only to West Virginia. I told you RJ Davis yesterday. I'm pretty good at prize picks. Jake is horrendous.
Garbo.
Maybe on a daily basis, we give away.
Because it's garbage.
I don't know. Maybe we do $100 or we could do $500. Maybe we give away a $500 Amazon gift card great. Here's Craig Counsell arguing with the umpire already. Go back in the dugout, you stick.
Go back to Milwaukee.
Jerk off. Anyway.
And kick a person when he's down.
Dude, it's the second game of the year and I'm out on the Cubs already.
Yeah, they're terrible, dude.
Garbo. Hey, look, it's Pages, not Pages on second base for the Doyers.
Roll me over.
And the Dodgers roll into a double play to end the inning. Let's go. Cubs get out of it. The great gambler does not score. Going to the ninth, 6-3. Cubs trailing. We're going to lose. Top of the order, Hap, Ichiro, and Tucker coming up. You know, that great signing Tucker is going to save the world. Not. I would be happy to do that if you guys want to do a I'd do a $500 prize picks Final Four. Maybe that's what we should do. You want to do that? Like give away $500 to a Final Four prize pick. Whoever wins the most on prize picks during the Final Four wins $500 on the show, an Amazon gift card for $500.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to have proof.
Well, yeah, you got to have screenshots.
Yeah.
Or I'm open to it. Nothing like your favorite team giving you a case of the Tourette's, dude.
Yeah.
Please.
My fucking ass.
Did not realize I had to go through it's Corey Hamill now.
Oh, it's not Core D anymore?
That's disappointing.
Or is Corey Hamill different than Core D?
Yeah. UNLV is 100% on the radar. I would agree with that. UNLV should be a sleeping giant. Who are you, Utah Tech?
Whatever.
I would love it if TCU and Oak State had a home and home with UNLV. The away game at UNLV is basically a mini vacation for the fans. A lot of people say that. UNLV should be a sleeping giant. Yes. Tommy Edman could have an MVP season with the Doyers. Doyers. It's a good ball player. I hate the Dodgers. All right. Chewy? Are you a Los Angeles fan in general? Are you at least a Lakers fan? Please. Wade would be a good hire at UNLV, but I wouldn't mind Stacey Augmon as well.
Yeah.
You need somebody proven. LOL, pimp down, pimp in distress. Oh, my God. Bray B from Twitter. And get on X, by the way. The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. We're on Twitter. We broadcast the show live on, or I keep saying Twitter. We broadcast the show live on Tesla every single day. It's a Tesla. It's cashless. Anyway, we broadcast the show live on X every single day. Make sure you get over there. If you guys want to watch on X, please, don't. Watch on YouTube. I think this is why we just had an administrative change. The power behind the scenes are stepping up to finally fix the long-term power struggles which have chronically plagued UNLV and the Nevada education system. This is why there will be a new president soon. The adults are now in charge. And I think it's hugely important.
Yeah.
Bray, I think it's hugely important.
Oh, nice job, Bray. Good take.
Mike Smith, it's hard out there for a pimp, said the UNLV AD. Okay. Mile High. Look, man, I'm just out here trying to win basketball games. When pimp gonna pimp. Mike is awake this morning. Good morning. No, good morning to you, Mile High Phil. I think more institutions are having these discussions. It's not just UNLV. The academic side in a lot of universities fight the athletic side for the money because enrollment is one of the most critical metrics in all of college cash.
It's right? The lifeblood of every school.
If you don't have, not to be the master of the obvious, if you don't have kids attending your school, Yeah, you don't have tuition. You don't get research money. You don't get. Did you guys see it, Utah yesterday? Again, you probably didn't. They got a huge medical endowment again. So they got a women's sports endowment. Now they got a medical endowment. Like, you have to have that kind of support. And I think at UNLV, when the messaging is, hey, we're broke, we can't pay coaches, that's bad for Will Wade, that's bad for recruits, that's bad for the university, enrollment, like across the board, it's the wrong message to put out into the ethos.
Yeah.
Because that's forever going to be, oh, Dan Mullen's not getting paid. Dan Mullen's getting paid.
Yeah.
Kevin Kruger's getting paid. Not to coach, but he's getting paid. I just think that UNLV, at some point, you hope you get it right. Mr. Ed Wayner, too bad Indiana is not looking for a football coach and buy out Dan Mullen. There you go. There you go. You guys this morning, this is probably my fault. The old Greg, I don't nut when the show starts. I don't nut when the snow starts this morning. I got the mental illness. Oops, let's bake and wake. That's a reference from yesterday when I said I don't understand people who wake up and their first thing is not, oh man, I gotta take that morning pee. No, it's let me hit that bong. Where's my lighter? Or I was watching a TikTok video the other day, and this guy has found all kinds of interesting ways to toke his bong. Like, he's got a blowtorch, then he's got a hand torch, then he used a match and burned his finger. Like, are we really this far into it?
Yeah.
Hey, also, by the way, for all you weed smokers, did you guys see that people who regularly use marijuana, smoke marijuana under the age of 30, have 6 times the chance of heart failure as those who do not? Just saying. I'm just saying. It is what it be. So
is this
Hamill,
Core D or is Corey Hamill different?
Stay hard.
Is this Corey Hamill Core D? Is that what it is? You know, that's what I'm saying. Mike Smith, how many news sites or papers have come out with the same lame loss of productivity in the workplace due to March Madness brackets? Seriously. I think it's a thing. Sergeant Morhew, we need more college kickoff in Vegas. The USC LSU game was insane.
Yes.
You guys remember that last fall? Was insane. Corey D now, Corrie.
Oh, okay. So now it's not Core D, it's Corey D.
Core Chaos this morning. I changed it to Corey D. I have a public job in my town. I like to be able to relax when I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So you're just,
So you're kind of a big deal in your town.
So you get on YouTube and you just ride the D is what you're saying.
That's right. That's right, dude.
Is
it possible that they could ride the D?
And, you got to.
What town are you from?
And stuff.
Yeah.
Seth Hatmaker. Seth, who makes hats. There is a silence on UNLV joining the Pac-12 since the announcement. Who saw that coming? Well, there is that. Wake and Bake. Comment on. Wake and Bake was definitely a thing in college.
Big Wake and Bake guy, huh?
Oh my God. Cypress Hill. Mike Smith just referenced Cypress Hill. Now I got Cypress Hill song stuck in my head. Corey D, you guys are terrible. The worst.
Dude,
we are the worst.
We're terrible? Your name was Core D, and then you changed it to Corey's D.
Hey, what are you corn with that D?
Yeah.
Oh!
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
Like, what am I supposed to do with this, bro?
Productivity in March. Is that even English? I don't understand. Tomorrow is one of the least productive days of the year for people in the office.
Yeah.
Will you guys get tomorrow? Really is the opening day of the NCAA tournament, regardless of how screwed West Virginia got last night by North Carolina. Do you guys in your life, are you less productive on the opening day of the tournament?
Yes.
How are you not?
Yeah. Should we bring like 10 TVs into the office and, have
We
like
probably
8
should.
games on all the TVs,
Oh, look, Jeremiah Champion. No, good morning to you, sir. Seth, who makes hats. Mike Smith, I used AI to help my bracket, compared chat with field goal percentage. I got Florida and Duke in the final.
Hey, Duke is Duke.
You know what? But it's interesting, Seth. Do you trust? Ooh, did he get it? Did he get it? Get up! Oh, of course he didn't get it. Of course he didn't get it. Yeah, let's trot in the second base. Why would you want to run hard, you dirtbag?
Lover boy.
PCA with a double off the Oppo double off the left.
No.
Or no, that's Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, that's that washed up scrub Kyle Tucker.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
The 1 year rental who doesn't run hard, apparently.
Yeah.
POS. I'm kidding. Cubs trailing 6-3, 2 outs, bottom in the ninth, but at least we got a double on the books, right? You know.
Yeah.
I admittedly am.
Oh, here's your favorite player. This is Redbeard.
Fire crotch up at the plate.
Yeah.
Justin Turner, the Cubs' new third baseman, the sensation, the COVID king with the Dodgers.
The COVID king.
Good Lord.
The coronavirus.
Rock and rant. Maybe I just forgot, but I still don't get why UNLV was either not invited to the Pac-12 with the first group or chose not to go with the first group. They weren't invited the first time out and couldn't make the money work. I shouldn't say they weren't invited. They were never officially invited. UNLV, according to our sources, had very serious conversations with the Pac-12, but did not want to become part of a lawsuit. Did not want to sue for poaching fees. Did not want to sue to get out of their exit fees. And I think UNLV took a wait-and-see approach, wisely as they should. AI used for brackets, kind of wild. It is kind of wild. Rick Forrester, hookers and cocaine, you can't go wrong in Vegas.
Duh.
Okay.
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Cover your kids' ears. Why do people frequent hookers? I still to this day do not understand that.
No, but I will with your wife.
Right? And maybe admittedly, I'm a really good looking guy. Just ask your wife. I would never even consider that. I would never even consider it. A joint or dab in the morning is king on the weekends, of course.
Okay, Wake and Bake King. That's your new YouTube name, bro. Wake and Bake King.
Chewy, I live in Salt Lake City and support anything Utes, Lakers, and Doyers. Utah pro sports is a joke. You got to spend money to make money in pro sports. Easy.
Whoa, as Mike Smith, refers to Ryan Smith as hairline, is going to spend money and turn the organization around.
Hey, check it out. Fire crotch got on base. First and second, tying run at the dish now for the Cubs.
2 outs.
This is going to be a roll me over force out to end the game.
And he will every single time.
The Hawaiian golfer, my wife knows that these first 4 days of the tournament that I'm dead to the world. I'm hanging in the basement with 4 screens going, and I'm at the sports book just enjoying the overstimulation.
I mean, if that's what we're calling it now.
Got to go to the sports book at Aria. Got to go to the sports book at Aria. But I'm going to a game tomorrow, so I'll see less basketball than usual, okay? It's going to be that type of show today. Hit the like button. Exactly right.
Yeah, it is.
Cam Harrison, a long time. Hello. Dude that abides. Okay, hang on. So our star, the actual future of third base, is up at the plate for the Cubs. And this has an opportunity, which is why it won't happen.
Right.
Our number one organizational prospect right now is at the plate. He is 23 years old, and he got his first major league hit today. Matt Shaw. The Cubs' number one prospect, Matt Shaw, is at the plate. And he rolls me over. Is he going to beat it? Is he going to beat it? Yes, he beat it.
Nah, he didn't beat that.
What?
He didn't beat that. No, he didn't beat that. Nope.
They're going to review it. You better review it. You better review this. Yes, Craig Counsell. No, he's not going to review it. God damn.
Nah, he's out. It's all over.
Cubs are 0-2.
Only 160 games to go.
160 days of pain straight ahead for us Cubs fans. Last in the division. Anyway, Seth, who makes hats, is an Astro fan. Okay, moving on.
Next comment.
Smiles and glory holes.
Yeah, that's what the Cubs are, dude. That is what the Cubs are, man.
Smiles and glory holes.
And I'm just going to say this. How do the Cubs not have pitching? Our supposed best pitcher, Justin Steele.
Allegedly.
Seth, who makes hats. As an Astro fan, I would have thought Bregman and Tucker leaving was the end of H-Town. Was the end, but H-Town has picked up some talent. And how is Bregman not a Chicago Cub? Well, because we couldn't get Bregman, we went with Justin Turner, who nobody wanted. Okay. Makes sense.
Seems legit.
The Mary J is why I left Michigan. Smell it 24/7 up there. I can't stand that. I really do hate it. I really, really do hate it. Drives me crazy. Jeremiah Champion, I'm the king of champions over here. Okay, I like it. Go Stros, never. Rick Forrester, goodbye, going back to sleep. Okay, Rick. You know, just like the Bears, they got your hopes up during the offseason. No, the Cubs did not. The Cubs have signed nobody. The Cubs quite literally have signed nobody. Nobody. Jeremiah says Rockies. I don't think they'll ever win enough games. No, they probably will not.
Nah.
They probably will not. The frustrating part for me is, like, North Carolina is the perfect example. You knew what was going to happen last night.
Yeah.
You knew that because I'm a North Carolina fan, they had no business being in the tournament, that they were going to dominate San Diego State last night. And they did. I told you when I picked RJ and Prize Picks last night, kid's going to dominate. Where was that team all season? Well, they weren't playing San Diego State. The ACC was arguably the worst P4 conference in the country this year.
Yeah.
And you didn't even qualify for the tournament. You had to be gifted a spot. That's the thing that's what makes me, it's so hard right now for me to be a sports fan. The Cubs are going to be terrible. The Bears are not good right now, even though I think we've had arguably one of the best off seasons.
But you have a reason to watch.
Yes. The Blackhawks are putrid.
Yeah. The Bulls, don't even get us started.
Notre Dame, we were never winning that game. Right? Well, like, what do I have to hold on to? As an NBA fan, I'm a fan of the Lakers. LeBron hurts his D. LeGroin hurt himself. So I can't be a Bulls fan, so I'm a Laker fan, and so then LeBron gets hurt.
Well, dude, you've got, Mr. Second Floor guy, right?
My name is Luca.
Look, Luka Doncic
has
not been great for the Lakers. Luka Doncic has not been great
Stay
for
hard.
the Lakers. So, but like, at least if you're an Alabama State fan this morning, you're out of your mind. It's amazing, right? It's just frustrating. That's where I'm at in sports. I know I talk about this a lot. I have almost nothing to root for in sports. The Cubs are going to be bad because the Ricketts family is one of the worst ownership groups in sports.
Okay, how's Chelsea doing? Chelsea good?
Yeah, I'm good. I think we're still top 4. I'm a Chelsea football fan. We're very young. Thankfully, the Ricketts did not wind up buying that team.
Yeah.
But I can just tell you that even like Chelsea Football Club should be one of the unquestioned powerhouses of world football. We're not. Right now, Chelsea is 5th.
Okay, not bad at all.
On 49 points behind Nottingham Forest. So let me get this right. Nottingham Forest, in the same amount of games, has outpointed you. And your goal differential is better than theirs, but that's my life. And we lost to Arsenal this weekend. 1-0 because we can't score goals. I just don't know. I don't know what
Seems legit.
I don't know how you explain it. And now coming up on the 3rd, because why would we ever want to play games? April 3rd, we have Tottenham. So what is that? 3 weeks from now or something like that? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Another member brought up streaming from Wrigley weeks back. I say go full Chi-Town, Al's Beef, Geno's, and Rush Street. Maybe we'll do some lives from Wrigley Field. We definitely will have a ton of content when we're in Chicago. So you guys may not know this, but PXG is partnered with a company called Upper Deck Sports. Upper Deck Golf. Upper Deck Golf is putting on events across the country at huge stadiums. Wrigley Field is the 9th, I think, or the 10th. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna play golf at Wrigley Field. We're gonna have a video on that. We'll have all kinds of videos from Chicago. Follow us on Instagram, SLC Jake on Instagram, The Monty Show on Instagram. We'll be live on Twitter. I'm certain we'll be, when we're playing golf in Chicago, we'll be live. We'll show you what we'll absolutely show you. Oak State James for $5. Yes, Matt is right. Oak State won its first round game in the NIT. I'm hoping they have to play SMU in the round 2 so I can go to it. Well, there you go. You know,
How's the book coming along?
yeah. How's the pedo priest book coming along? You know, let's hear about that. Noel Ramirez, I heard MLS is regretting that Apple deal. No, you don't say.
What?
Nobody is watching. Nobody is going to pay. MLS is just not on the radar, dude. It's tough. Boyd Lake, Luka Tubbs Doncic can hold the Lakers together. Can hold the Lakers together, Monty.
Fact.
Here's a question for Mavs fans: does Anthony Davis ever play another game for the Mavericks?
No.
I don't think he does.
I'd move him.
I don't think he does. So, Tigers are looking good, Monty. Probably. I had nothing to do with Jeremiah's comment. Okay.
What did Jeremiah comment?
I don't know. Chewy Gonzalez, are the Steelers moving on from Aaron? Funny you bring that up. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Download the app in your wherever you get your apps from.
The Apple Store, obviously.
America's favorite daily fantasy game is Prize Picks. You guys, it's fantastic. Okay, so do you guys want a $500 Final Four contest on Prize Picks? Let's do it. I'm here for it. The bracket thing is so played out.
Yeah.
The bracket thing is so played out. I say, nah, bruh. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5. So in this bracket challenge, deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly. And let's compete for the Final Four.
We got to put some rules around this, though, right? So, like, you know, what's the minimum picks? Like 3 picks, 4 picks? Like, what do you got?
I think we do. I think, do we do who wins the most on Prize Picks? Maybe it's an elimination. You guys, you do a $5 deposit at a new Prize Picks account. You're entered to win. You make 3 selections on a flex play. Maybe it's a survivor thing. If you take my advice on Prize Picks, flex play 3 selections. That means you only need 2 of 3 to win. Like my prize pick for tomorrow, Johnny Broom, first round, is 0.5 point. For Auburn's Johnny Broom, 0.5 point. I took more. So if he scores a single point, you win. I have RJ Davis from last night, who already won, and then Jacoby Coles from GCU, Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
For less than 21.5 points. 2 of 3. It's that simple. Tonight, I love the NBA tonight. There's a couple that really stand out to me. I think, boy, in points, rebounds, and assists. That's the category I like to play in the NBA, points, rebounds, and assists. I think
Paolo Banchero, 38.5 is kind of a gimme.
But it's Houston. I don't think that's a gimme against Houston. You think that's a gimme?
Yeah, he had 56 against Minnesota.
Yeah. I never take Jake's advice, you guys. You're asking to get Core Deed if you take his advice.
Core D.
I think Klay Thompson, 23.5. I think you got to go less. I think Ashur Thompson for Detroit. I think you got to go more than 15.5. or less than 15.5. He's only hit that once in his last 5 games. And it's against the Heat. I would probably go less on that. Cade Cunningham, 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Mm-hmm.
Against Miami. He hit on Washington twice, but missed on Portland, OKC, and New Orleans. I think I'm going to go less on Cade there.
Right.
And then I think you have to look at, Zion Williamson against Minnesota is a good one. There's so many tonight. It's so difficult. Zion's playing excellent basketball.
Uh-huh.
I think Shaedon Sharpe against Memphis. There's a lot of good ones. If I got to pick one, I think I'm probably going Austin Reeves 36.5 against Denver. That's a huge number, but I'm going more.
I went Banchero more than 38.5.
It's because you're dumb.
Mike Conley less than 14.5. And Campaign less than 12.5.
All right, I got Paolo Banchero more than 38.5. Cade Cunningham less than 39.5. And Austin Reeves more than 36.5.
There you go.
That's my NBA Prize Picks tonight. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more instantly. Noel Ramirez, I don't want money. I want a chance to box Jake at least 2 rounds. Okay. Some of us choose anger.